I don't have anything negative to say about Sean Combs because my experience was not what the world has seen and how he's been, misrepresented.
Being that young and being in the industry and not knowing where to turn and everyone, telling me they love me and, just turn their back on you in a second.
Puff and Usher did have a situation. And that situation led Usher to the hospital. Now, I'll let Usher explain that to y'all. I'll let Usher tell that story.
So do you remember when Katt Williams showed up on Club Shay Shay and said all that wild stuff? Yeah, he was dead serious. Ever since that moment, the industry has been in chaos, like no one can catch a break. People keep getting exposed left and right, and it doesn't look like Katt plans to slow down anytime soon. Now he's jumped right back into the drama, right in the middle of this messy situation involving Usher and Justin, and he's putting Usher on blast. Katt is claiming Usher played a role in handing Justin over to Diddy early on, stirring up even more controversy that has everyone talking, and it gets even messier. Right after Katt dropped those claims, Usher popped up in an interview and started publicly defending Diddy like nothing happened. But honestly, that didn't shock a lot of people, because Usher has a track record of standing by controversial figures. He even defended Russell Simmons after Russell left the country and relocated to Thailand while facing serious accusations. That alone had people raising eyebrows, so seeing him back, Diddy just added more heat to an already explosive situation. Now, if you missed how this all started, here's the spark that lit the fire. Justin and Usher were reportedly seen having a tense, heated moment at Beyonce and Jay-Z's Oscars after party. According to TMZ, Usher approached Justin with strong energy, and things quickly escalated into a serious exchange. Of course, that instantly got people talking because everyone was trying to figure out what could have pushed Justin to that point, especially considering Usher was the one who first signed him and helped launch his career. When Scooter Braun first discovered Justin, everything was tight and supportive. But over time, things flipped completely. It went from being close and connected to Justin not wanting anything to do with certain people anymore. By 2024, reports were already coming out saying Usher wanted Justin to pull up for his Super Bowl halftime show, but Justin didn't show up at all. That alone had people questioning what really went down behind the scenes. Now here's where it gets even deeper. When Justin first signed with Usher, Usher made the call to connect him with Diddy for mentorship, and that decision raised a lot of eyebrows later on. That's how Justin ended up spending 24 hours at Diddy's mansion, a situation that people still talk about to this day. Justin even shared a video about it on his YouTube channel, and if you watch closely, you can see the shift in his energy clear as day. At first, Justin looked excited, like he thought he was about to have an unforgettable experience. But that vibe didn't last long. As the time went on, you could tell something felt off, and the situation wasn't what he expected at all. What seemed like a harmless moment back then started to look very different as people revisited it later. After that period, fans began noticing major changes in Justin's life and behavior. He went through some personal struggles, leaned into his faith, and made big life decisions like getting married earlier than expected, with many believing he was trying to distance himself from the pressures and chaos of the industry. But even with all that, it wasn't like he could just walk away clean. People believe the pressure never really stopped. And that's a big reason why Justin became so protective over Billie Eilish when she stepped into the spotlight. He understood how the industry can treat young artists, and he tried hard to shield her from going through similar experiences. Now this is where Katt Williams really steps into the picture. If you've been keeping up with what he's been saying, then you already know he's been dropping hints for years about these so-called mentorships happening behind closed doors. According to him,
as soon as you turn 16, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let you rock this every time you come to LA. Yeah, this gonna be yours. So every time you come, you're 18, you get the house. You get the mansion.
Okay, I get the mansion.
Yeah.
You ain't been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out.
Well, I mean, you try to get in contact with me, through all my, partners and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But you never really got my number, so.
Correct. Okay.
My number?
Yeah.
those situations aren't always what they seem, and he's been warning people about it for a long time. Katt even shared that he had his own close call in the industry. He claims Diddy approached him multiple times with huge offers, trying to bring him into his circle. Katt said those offers went as high as $50 million, but he turned them down every single time because he didn't trust what came with it. And when you look at everything being said, people can't help but connect the dots. Many point to how Justin has changed over the years, saying he hasn't seemed like the same person for a long time. Some believe those past experiences may have had a lasting impact, and it's something he's still working through even now. It wasn't just Diddy either. Katt also claimed that other powerful figures allegedly tried to pull him into questionable situations. He even mentioned Harvey Weinstein, saying Weinstein once tried to pressure him into doing something inappropriate in exchange for a movie role, but Katt made it clear he wasn't going for any of that. Now, to be clear, there's no confirmed proof that Justin was used and then cast aside by Diddy, but people keep pointing at certain moments and saying something doesn't add up. A lot of the speculation also circles back to Usher, with some claiming he may have played a part in connecting Justin to that environment in the first place. And here's why people keep raising eyebrows. Back when Usher introduced Justin to Diddy, rumors about Diddy's behavior were already floating around in the industry. On top of that, there have been long-standing claims and conversations suggesting Usher himself may have had complicated experiences during his early years around Diddy. Usher and Diddy go way back, all the way to the early 90s when L.A. Reid introduced a very young Usher to him at just 14 years old. The idea was simple on paper: mentorship and artist development. But over time, people started questioning what really went on behind the scenes. Those questions only got louder after Usher's 2005 Essence magazine cover story. Reports from that interview say he was open and relaxed while answering most topics, but the moment the conversation shifted toward what allegedly happened at Diddy's house, his energy reportedly changed fast. According to those present, he became noticeably nervous, which only added more mystery and speculation to an already controversial story. He even said, "I want to save some for my book one day," and then added, "I'll put it this way, there was a lot going on," leaving people reading between the lines. That alone had everyone raising questions because it sounded like he was holding back some serious details. And then things got even more intense when that email started circulating online. It was allegedly from someone connected to Kim Porter's book, claiming the manuscript included shocking stories about Diddy's private life, the people around him, and serious health-related allegations involving those relationships. The message hinted at situations involving Usher and other individuals, which only pushed the rumors into overdrive. Now here's where it starts to look even more complicated. Despite all these stories and claims about what may have happened behind the scenes, Usher has continued to stay closely connected to Diddy and his circle, including figures like Russell Simmons. That alone has had people questioning why he never distanced himself publicly. On top of that, Usher's name reportedly came up in a lawsuit filed by producer Lil Rod against Diddy, adding another layer to the situation. From what's been said, there were allegations about certain events and gatherings, and people quickly started speculating about who was involved and what really went down. Because of all this, some fans, and even people close to the situation, have started to question why Usher has never openly criticized Diddy. Instead, in a recent interview, Usher made it clear he still stands by him, saying he'll continue to support Diddy no matter what. That statement only added more fuel to an already heated conversation that doesn't seem to be slowing down anytime soon. And with all of this coming out, people are now looking at the bigger picture, trying to figure out who knew what and when. Because when you line everything up, from Katt's claims to those old interviews and resurfaced clips, it starts to paint a story that a lot of folks in the industry may have stayed quiet about for years. What's really catching attention now is how patterns seem to repeat.
Bad boy. Oh, he's bad boy now.
Signing the bad boy.
Here's your icon alert.
Protective of her. It was hard for me being that young and being in the industry and not knowing where to turn, and everyone, telling me they love me and, just turn their back on you in a second. So yeah, it's hard because I want her to know that, she can count on me. But at the end of the day, I'm never gonna force myself to be in a relationship with her. It has to be natural, right? So I just I don't want her to lose it. I don't want her to, go through anything I went through. I don't wish that upon anybody. So, yeah, if she ever needs me, I'm just a call.
Young artists get introduced to powerful figures under the label of mentorship. And later on, stories begin to surface that suggest those situations may not have been as simple as they sounded. That's exactly why people are going back and rewatching old footage, analyzing body language, and questioning moments that once seemed normal. At the same time, there are still a lot of unanswered questions. No one has come forward with full, confirmed details that explain everything clearly, and that keeps this whole situation sitting in a gray area. But that hasn't stopped the conversation from growing louder, especially online where fans are connecting dots and forming their own opinions. And with Katt Williams continuing to speak out, people are wondering who might be next to get called out. Because if there's one thing that's clear, it's that this story isn't fading away anytime soon. And every new detail just seems to pull more attention back to what's really been going on behind closed doors. Now the spotlight is getting even hotter because more people are starting to speak up, or at least hint at what they've seen. You've got clips resurfacing, old interviews being picked apart, and fans noticing things they completely missed the first time around. It's like every time someone looks back, they catch a new detail that doesn't sit right. At the same time, some industry insiders are choosing to stay quiet. And that silence is only making things look more suspicious. People are asking why no one is clearly shutting these claims down or giving solid answers. Instead, it's been vague responses, careful wording, and a lot of avoiding the real questions, which only adds more tension to the situation. What's also interesting is how public reactions are shifting. Before, a lot of these stories would get brushed off or ignored, but now people are paying closer attention and actually questioning what's real. Social media is full of debates, breakdowns, and theories, with everyone trying to piece together the truth from what's been said and what hasn't. And the biggest question hanging over everything right now is simple. Who's going to break their silence first and clear this up? Because until that happens, the rumors, the speculation, and the pressure are only going to keep building. And now, everything feels like it's reaching a tipping point. The more this story spreads, the harder it's becoming for anyone involved to just ignore it and move on like nothing happened. Every new clip, every resurfaced comment, and every past connection is being pulled back into the spotlight, and people are watching closely. What's really driving the conversation now is how much of this has been sitting in plain sight for years. Moments that once seemed random or harmless are being re-examined, and suddenly, they don't look the same anymore. Fans are starting to question whether certain signs were always there, just overlooked at the time. At the same time, the pressure is building on everyone connected to these stories to finally say something clear. Because staying silent or giving vague responses isn't working anymore. Not when so many people are demanding answers. It's turning into a situation where every move, every interview, and every statement is being analyzed down to the smallest detail. And with all eyes locked in, one thing is clear. This situation isn't cooling off anytime soon.
Diddy, and he know a lot of stuff about Diddy that a lot of people don't know.
Man, it's a lot of stuff that Mace and Usher know that they ain't telling about Diddy. There's a lot of stuff that they know. Can you imagine, bruh? Can you really imagine?
What you mean by Usher, though?
Usher used to stay with Diddy, too, when he was younger. Usher did have a situation, and that situation led Usher to the hospital. Now, I let Usher explain that to y'all. I let Usher tell that story. Let Usher mama explain that to you. And the hospital was in Scarsdale, New York.
If anything, it's only getting bigger, louder, and harder to control, and people are bracing to see what comes out next as more layers continue to unfold. At this point, it's not just about rumors anymore, it's about how everything is unfolding right in front of everyone. The story has grown way bigger than just a few names, and now it's turning into a full conversation about how the industry really operates behind closed doors. People aren't just watching for drama. They're paying attention to the patterns and the power dynamics that keep coming up. What's making this even more intense is how quickly public opinion can shift. One new claim, one resurfaced clip, or one statement can completely change how people see the entire situation. And right now, it feels like everyone involved is being watched more closely than ever, with every move being questioned and analyzed. At the same time, there's still a clear divide. Some people believe these are long overdue conversations that need to happen, while others think things are being blown out of proportion without solid proof. That split is what keeps the debate alive, because no one fully agrees on what's really going on. But regardless of which side people are on, one thing is obvious. The attention isn't going anywhere. The more this unfolds, the more people are drawn in, waiting to see if real answers finally come out or if the mystery just keeps getting deeper And just when you think it couldn't get any crazier, more claims started surfacing. Diddy's former bodyguard, Gene Deal, made some serious allegations about what he says happened behind the scenes. According to him, Usher was around during a lot of those moments and may have witnessed more than people realize. And he even claimed there's proof out there, but it hasn't been fully revealed. Gene also spoke on long-standing rumors about how early Usher was introduced to that environment, saying things went on that shouldn't have happened at such a young age. Those statements shocked a lot of people and added even more questions to an already complicated situation. Of course, the internet had a lot to say about all of this. One person wrote, "Yeah, Justin Bieber should have chin-checked his jaw and slept that man on the spot. He ain't do enough." Another said, "Wonder if that's why Justin turned down the halftime show with Usher." People are clearly connecting dots and forming their own opinions based on everything that's come out. Now it's your turn to speak on it. What do you think about Katt calling all of this out? And do you believe there's more to the story between Diddy, Usher, and Justin? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more updates and breakdowns on stories like this.